Most people think cardio means suffering through brutal high-intensity interval training workouts or pounding pavement until their knees give out. And then you have postal workers in San Francisco who walk uphill for hours every single day as part of their job. These people have some of the strongest hearts and leanest physiques, even well into their careers. They don't do burpees, they don't do spin classes, they don't destroy their bodies with high-impact torture sessions. They just walk uphill day after day, year after year. In this video, I want to show you why this simple movement is so powerful and how you can use it to build the kind of cardiovascular fitness that actually improves your life instead of destroying your body. The first thing that changes is your heart stroke volume, and this is huge for your long-term health. When you walk on flat ground, your heart pumps at a relatively easy pace. But the moment you add incline, everything changes. Your heart has to work significantly harder to pump blood uphill against gravity while supplying oxygen to muscles that are now working at much higher intensity. This increased demand forces your heart to become more efficient at pumping blood with each beat. Studies show that incline walking at just a 10 to 15% grade can increase your heart rate to the same level as running, but without the repetitive impact stress. Your cardiac output improves, your stroke volume increases, and your cardiovascular system becomes more efficient at delivering oxygen throughout your body. This isn't just cardio training, it's building a more resilient heart that can handle stress better in every situation. Have you ever noticed how some people get winded walking up a single flight of stairs? They're huffing and puffing like they just ran a marathon, grabbing the handrail, taking breaks on landings. That's what happens when your cardiovascular system never gets challenged by working against gravity. Incline walking completely changes this weakness. Every step uphill forces your entire cardiovascular system to adapt to the increased demand. Your heart learns to pump more efficiently, your lungs learn to extract more oxygen from each breath, and your muscles learn to work aerobically under increased load. After a few weeks of consistent incline walking, you'll notice stairs become effortless, hiking feels natural, and you can maintain conversations while walking uphill. And once your heart gets stronger, something incredible happens to your posterior chain development. Incline walking is like doing hundreds of mini deadlifts while getting your cardio. Every step uphill requires your glutes, hamstrings, and calves to work significantly harder than they do on flat ground. Your glutes have to fire to drive your body weight up the incline, your hamstrings have to control each step, and your calves have to push off with much more force. This creates what exercise physiologists call concurrent training, building muscle while improving cardiovascular fitness at the same time. Research shows that incline walking can activate your glutes up to 300% more than flat ground walking. Your entire posterior chain gets stronger without the joint stress of high-impact exercise. This translates directly to better posture, more powerful movement, and lower body strength that shows up in everything from climbing stairs to playing sports. Now, before we dive into the benefit that's going to revolutionize how you think about fat burning, I want to let you know that incline walking is powerful, but it's just one piece of the puzzle. If you want a simple step-by-step blueprint to reset your entire body and feel 10 years younger, I created an organized guide for you to follow, and it's linked in the description below. Here's what nobody talks about when it comes to incline walking. It puts your body in the perfect fat-burning zone while being completely sustainable long-term. Most people try to burn fat with high-intensity workouts that leave them exhausted and eventually burned out. Or they do endless hours of boring cardio that barely moves the needle. Incline walking hits the sweet spot between intensity and sustainability. When you walk uphill at a moderate pace, your body preferentially burns fat for fuel because it's working at an intensity that allows your aerobic system to function optimally. This creates what metabolic researchers call the fat oxidation zone, the perfect intensity for teaching your body to use fat as its primary fuel source. Studies show that incline walking can burn 50 to 70% more calories than flat ground walking at the same perceived effort level. But here's the key. You can maintain this intensity for extended periods without exhausting your nervous system or requiring days of recovery. You can literally walk uphill for an hour while having a conversation, burning massive amounts of calories, and actually enjoying the process. This isn't grinding, soul-crushing cardio that you dread. You're outdoors, moving naturally, and the incline makes the workout challenging without making it miserable. Your body learns to use fat efficiently, your metabolism stays elevated for hours after your walk, and you build a sustainable exercise habit that you can maintain for decades. But here's where it gets really interesting. Incline walking creates unique adaptations in your breathing mechanics and respiratory efficiency. When you're walking uphill, your body has to work harder to deliver oxygen to working muscles while dealing with increased metabolic demand. This forces your respiratory system to become more efficient at extracting oxygen from the air and delivering it to your bloodstream. Your diaphragm gets stronger, your lung capacity improves, and your body learns to breathe more efficiently under stress. This enhanced respiratory function carries over into everything else you do. You'll have better endurance for any physical activity, you'll feel less winded during daily tasks, and your overall energy levels will improve. In just a moment, I'm going to show you the most common mistakes that prevent people from getting these benefits. But first, let me tell you about something that completely surprised me. Incline walking actually improves your mental resilience in ways that flat ground exercise never could. There's something about walking uphill that requires mental fortitude. Every step is slightly more challenging, gravity is constantly working against you, and your body wants to slow down or stop. But when you push through that mental resistance and maintain your pace, you're building more than just physical strength. You're building mental toughness that translates directly to how you handle stress in other areas of your life. Now let's talk about the mistakes that keep people from experiencing these transformations. The biggest error is starting with an incline that's too steep or a pace that's too fast. If you're hanging onto the handrails on a treadmill or gasping for air after 5 minutes, you've gone too hard too fast. The goal is sustainable intensity that you can maintain for 20 to 45 minutes. The second mistake is using the handrails on treadmills, which completely defeats the purpose. When you hold on to the rails, you're reducing the load on your legs and cardiovascular system, eliminating most of the benefits. If you need to hold on, the incline is too steep or the pace is too fast. The third mistake is not being consistent because people think it's too easy or boring. Incline walking might not feel as intense as sprinting or lifting heavy weights, but the adaptations happen through consistent exposure over time. That one is honestly something I have to remind myself of sometimes when I want to do something that feels more challenging in the moment. You're probably wondering, this sounds great, but what incline should I use and how long should I walk? Don't worry, I've got you covered. Start with a 5 to 8% incline at a pace where you can still hold a conversation but feel like you're working. This should feel moderately challenging but sustainable. Begin with 15 to 20 minutes and gradually work up to 30 to 45 minutes as your fitness improves. The key is finding an intensity you can maintain consistently rather than going all out for short periods. Aim for 3 to 4 sessions per week, and you can do this outdoors on hills or indoors on a treadmill. After incline walking consistently for a month, your cardiovascular fitness will have improved dramatically. Your posterior chain will be noticeably stronger, your fat-burning efficiency will be enhanced, and you'll have built a sustainable exercise habit that improves your quality of life. Share this video with someone who's ready to transform their relationship with cardio exercise. And let me know what video you'd like to see next.